There's a shirt hanging in the Smithsonian Institution right now. Not from a president, not from an astronaut, from a kid who once couldn't afford a burger. But before we get to how that shirt ended up in one of the most prestigious museums in America, you need to understand what it meant to wear it. Because this isn't just a story about basketball. This is about obsession, identity, and the moment when everything you've ever dreamed of becomes the thing that almost destroys you. Let me take you back. A small apartment in West Philadelphia, peeling wallpaper, a single mother working 2 jobs, and a boy, maybe 9 years old, sitting in front of a television that's older than he is. The picture flickers, the sound cuts in and out, but none of that matters, because on that screen, there's magic happening. UCLA versus Arkansas, national championship game. And this kid, he's not just watching, he's memorizing. Every play, every move, every player wearing those powder blue and gold jerseys. He doesn't know their stats, he doesn't know their names yet, but he knows one thing with absolute certainty. Those colors mean something. They mean greatness. They mean you made it. His mom walks in. She's exhausted. 16-hour shift. She sees him glued to the screen, and she smiles, even though she's too tired to smile. She asks him what he wants for his birthday next week. He doesn't hesitate. A UCLA shirt. That's all. Just one shirt. She doesn't tell him they can barely afford groceries. She doesn't tell him that UCLA merchandise isn't exactly sold at the corner store in their neighborhood. She just nods, and something happens in that moment. A promise is made without words, a promise that will change everything. 2 weeks later, she hands him a package. It's wrapped in newspaper because they don't have wrapping paper. Inside is a shirt, but it's not UCLA. It's a knockoff from a street vendor. Wrong shade of blue, wrong font. The stitching is already coming loose. And this kid, he looks at it, and he looks at his mom, and he sees the hope in her eyes, the fear that she disappointed him. And he does something that tells you everything you need to know about who he is.
He puts it on, he wears it every single day for 6 months, to school, to bed, until it's so worn out it's basically transparent. And when kids make fun of him, when they call it fake, when they laugh, he doesn't take it off. Because that shirt isn't about UCLA anymore. It's about his mom. It's about love in the form of a lie that both of them agreed to believe. But here's where it gets interesting. That same year, something shifts. He starts playing basketball, not organized, not coached, just pickup games at the park. And he's terrible, absolutely terrible. Can't dribble, can't shoot. Kids pick him last every single time. But he keeps showing up, day after day, wearing that fake UCLA shirt like armor. And then one afternoon, an older kid, maybe 16, stops the game, points at him, says, "You know UCLA doesn't want players who can't make a layup, right?" Everyone laughs, and this 9-year-old, he doesn't cry, he doesn't argue, he just says, "Then I'll learn." That night, he stays at the court until it's dark, until his mom has to come find him, until his hands are bleeding from the rough concrete, and he makes his first layup, then another, and something clicks. Not in his body, in his mind. He realizes something that most people never figure out, that obsession isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. If you care about something more than anyone else cares about anything, you become unstoppable. Fast forward 2 years. He's 11 now. He's gotten better, a lot better. He's made the middle school team, and he saved every dollar from every odd job he can find, mowing lawns, walking dogs, collecting cans, and finally he has enough. He goes to the sporting goods store downtown, takes 3 buses to get there, and he buys his first real UCLA shirt. Official, perfect stitching, perfect colors. He wears it home on the bus. He doesn't take it off for 3 days. His mom sees it and asks where he got it. He tells her, and she cries. Not because she's sad, because she realizes her son just taught her something, that dreams don't die when reality hits them, they just get stronger. But this is where the story could have ended. Kid from rough neighborhood makes good, gets a little success, fades into normalcy. Except that's not what happened, because what happened next is so unlikely, so statistically impossible, that when you hear it, you'll understand why this story matters. Age 13, he's now got 4 UCLA shirts. He rotates them, Monday through Thursday. Friday, he wears his original fake one, for luck, from memory. And he's become obsessed with UCLA history. He knows every championship year, every legendary player, every coach. His teammates think he's weird. His teachers think he's distracted. But he's not distracted. He's focused on something they can't see yet. One day, his coach pulls him aside, says he's got talent, real talent, says if he keeps working, maybe he can get a college scholarship somewhere, anywhere. And this kid, he doesn't nod, he doesn't smile, he just says, "I'm going to UCLA."
The coach laughs, not meanly, just reflexively, because kids from their neighborhood don't go to UCLA. They go to community college if they're lucky. They work construction. They survive. They don't become Bruins. But he doesn't hear the laugh. He only hears the challenge. High school arrives. He's 15. He's grown 6 inches. His game has evolved. He's not the best player on his team. He's not even top 3. But he's the one who practices longer, studies film, analyzes angles, and he's now got 12 UCLA shirts. He's hunting them down at thrift stores, online auctions, anywhere he can find them. His room is a shrine, posters, banners, programs from games he never attended. His friends think it's an obsession. They're right, but they don't understand the difference between obsession and clarity. Most people scatter their focus across 100 different things. He's put all his chips on one number, and he's willing to lose everything if that number doesn't hit. Junior year. This is when reality usually hits. Scouts come to games, rankings come out, and the truth becomes unavoidable. He's good, really good. But UCLA good? The coaches don't think so. His ranking puts him as a 3-star recruit. UCLA recruits 5 stars, kids with highlight reels that go viral, kids with offers from 20 different schools. He's got 3 offers, small schools, good programs, places that would be thrilled to have him. His mom wants him to take one, security, a guaranteed scholarship, a path forward. And he's 17 years old, sitting in their apartment, and he has to make a decision that will define his entire life. Does he take the safe route? Or does he bet on himself? He calls the other schools, thanks them, declines their offers, and he commits to a plan that everyone tells him is insane. He's going to prep school for a year, postgraduate, 1 more year to develop, to grow, to become impossible to ignore. It means delaying college. It means risk. It means watching his friends move on while he stays back. But it also means keeping his dream alive. That year is brutal. He's at a prep school in Connecticut, far from home, far from his mom, far from everything he knows. And he's playing against the best high school players in the country, kids who are going to Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. And he's holding his own, more than holding his own. He's dominating. By the end of the season, his ranking has jumped, 3-star to 4-star. Offers start coming in, better schools, bigger programs. And then, in March, his phone rings. It's a number he doesn't recognize, Los Angeles area code, UCLA. They want to talk, they want to visit, they want to see if he's the right fit. He doesn't tell anyone, not his teammates, not his coaches, not even his mom, because he's learned that some dreams are too fragile to speak out loud. You have to protect them until they're real.
The visit happens. He flies to Los Angeles, first time on a plane, first time in California, and he walks onto Pauley Pavilion, the legendary UCLA arena, wearing one of his shirts under his jacket. And he stands at center court, and he cries. Not sad tears, not happy tears, tears of recognition, like his soul just remembered something it always knew. The coaches like him. They really like him, but they're honest. They've got one scholarship left, and they're looking at 3 players, all 4 stars, all incredible talents. And the decision won't come for weeks, maybe months. He flies home, and he waits. And this is the part of the story where most people break. The waiting, the uncertainty, the watching your phone and checking your email and wondering if you bet everything on a losing hand. 2 months pass. It's May, decision season. Other schools are calling, offering scholarships, guaranteed playing time, and he's turning them down, one after another, because he's all in. And everyone thinks he's crazy. Then, on a Tuesday afternoon, his phone rings. Los Angeles area code. And the voice on the other end says 4 words that change everything. We want you here. He commits that day, signs in June, and when the press release goes out, when people see his name attached to UCLA, the reactions are mixed. Some people are excited, some are skeptical, some wonder if he's ready for that level. But there's one group of people who aren't surprised at all. The kids from his neighborhood, the ones who watched him at that park, the ones who saw him bleeding on the concrete. They knew, they always knew. He arrives at UCLA in August, freshman year, and the first thing he does is go to the equipment room. They hand him his official team gear, practice jerseys, game jerseys, warm-ups, and he's holding them, and the equipment manager notices he's shaking. "You okay, kid?" He nods, but he's not okay. He's overwhelmed, because in his dorm room, he's got a box, and in that box is every UCLA shirt he ever collected. 17 shirts, from the fake one his mom bought him to the official ones he scraped together money for. And now he's got the real thing, the jersey, the dream-made fabric. Freshman year is hard. He's not a starter. He barely plays. Garbage time minutes, blowouts. And there are moments when he wonders if he made a mistake, if he should have gone somewhere smaller, somewhere he could have started, somewhere easier. But then he remembers something. He didn't come here for easy. He came here to be great. Sophomore year, he earns a starting spot, and he's good, really good. The team makes the tournament. They don't win it all, but they're competitive, and he's becoming known, not as a star, but as a player who does everything right. Defense, hustle, leadership. Third year, this is when it happens, when all those years of obsession pay off in ways no one could have predicted. The team is special, really special. They're ranked in the top 10 all season, and he's not the leading scorer, he's not the flashiest player, but he's the heartbeat, the guy who makes everyone better. They win their conference, they get a high seed in the tournament, and suddenly they're in the Final Four. And suddenly people are paying attention, and suddenly this kid from West Philadelphia is playing on the biggest stage in college basketball. Championship game, packed arena, national television, and he's wearing number 14, UCLA blue and gold. And somewhere in the stands is his mom. First time she's ever flown, first time she's ever been out of Philadelphia. And she's wearing one of his old shirts, the fake one from when he was 9. The game is close, back and forth. Every possession matters. And with 2 minutes left, they're down by 3. And the coach calls a play designed for their star player to take the final shot. But in the moment, in the chaos, the ball ends up in his hands, 20 feet from the basket, defender in his face, clock winding down, and he doesn't hesitate. He shoots, and for a moment, time stops. The ball is in the air, rotating perfectly, arc is perfect, and then, swish.
Tie game. 40 seconds left and the arena explodes and his mom is crying and his teammates mob him, but he doesn't celebrate. He just runs back on defense because the game isn't over. They hold on defense, get the rebound, call timeout, 10 seconds left. Same play. Ball ends up in his hands again. This time, he drives, gets fouled, goes to the line, chance to win it all. 2 free throws. First shot, good. They're up by 1. Second shot, and here's what nobody knows. Here's the secret. Before he shoots, he looks at his shoes, UCLA issued, and he thinks about that fake shirt, that bleeding concrete, that moment when he decided obsession wasn't crazy, it was necessary. He shoots, swish. Up by 2, 3 seconds left, the other team misses, buzzer sounds, UCLA wins, national championship. And he's on the floor, crying, teammates piling on, confetti falling, and the announcer is screaming his name, and his mom is rushing the court, and she finds him in the chaos, and she hugs him, and she whispers, "You did it, baby, you did it." But that's not the end of the story. After they win, after the celebration, after the trophy ceremony, he does something nobody expects. He goes back to the locker room, takes off his championship jersey, and he donates it to the Smithsonian. Because he wants kids like him to see it. Kids from nowhere, kids with impossible dreams. He wants them to know that obsession isn't insanity, it's fuel. The press asks him why. Why give away the most important piece of clothing you'll ever wear? And he tells them about the shirts, about his mom, about bleeding on concrete, about making a choice to believe in something so completely that failure wasn't an option. It was just a detour. His story goes viral, not because he's the most talented player ever, but because he represents something people are desperate to believe in. That your background doesn't determine your destination. That obsession, properly channeled, is how ordinary people do extraordinary things. He goes on to play professionally, not a superstar, but a solid player, a good career. But that's not what he's remembered for. He's remembered for the shirts, for the kid who wore his dream until it became his reality.
Years later, he starts a foundation, gives UCLA shirts to kids in underserved communities, not expensive ones, simple ones, because he understands something profound, that sometimes a shirt isn't just a shirt. It's a promise. It's a reminder. It's a declaration that you belong somewhere you haven't reached yet. And today, if you go to the Smithsonian, you can see that championship jersey. And next to it is a plaque. And on that plaque is a quote from him. It says, "I didn't collect shirts because I loved UCLA. I collected them because I needed to remember who I was becoming." That's the thing about obsession. People will call you crazy. They'll tell you to be realistic, to have a backup plan, to protect yourself from disappointment. And maybe they're right. Maybe you should be careful. Maybe you should hedge your bets. Or maybe you should find your version of that UCLA shirt. The thing that makes you stay late when everyone else goes home. The thing that makes you practice when you're exhausted. The thing that makes you believe in yourself when nobody else does. Because here's what that kid from West Philadelphia proved. Talent matters. Opportunity matters. But obsession is the great equalizer. It's how the overlooked become unforgettable. It's how the impossible becomes inevitable. So the next time someone calls you obsessed, don't defend yourself. Don't apologize. Just smile. Because they're right. You are obsessed. And that's exactly why you're going to win. That boy didn't just collect shirts, he collected proof. Proof that he belonged. Proof that dreams aren't fantasies, they're previews. And if you're willing to work longer, believe harder, and risk everything, your preview becomes your reality. His jersey